Hello everyone. So sorry, I just took my hair tie out, so my hair is like a disaster. I still sound sick. I'm gonna go put earrings in. I'm so pale, you guys, it's ridiculous. Okay, so my closet door is open. That bugs me. Anyway, this is my desk. I literally have a wardrobe for a desk. What am I doing? Okay, so hi, my name is Aubrie Rose. Welcome to my channel. I am a writer and reader and musician, and today we are going to talk about my writing process. So this is a thing that I know a lot of people like to watch. They like to watch other people's writing, the way writing processes. I was like, what was the word that I just used? So do I. I love incorporating other people's writing processes into my own writing process, experimenting, seeing things that work, seeing things that don't work. So I originally was a pantser. Like I didn't know how to plot, so when I started writing, I did not plot like at all. I would just come up with an idea and I would write like the first 2 chapters. I would write the summary. That was like the most of my plotting, was I would write the summary. I would write the blurb, the back of the book sort of thing. And so that would be like unhelpful for past, I guess, future Aubrie, after I had written the blurb, to like go back and try to figure out what this story idea was, because I would only have the blurb and the blurb doesn't tell you everything. So even though I had more ideas, I no longer remembered them because I didn't write them down. So that was what I used to, that was how I used to write. I guess I used to be a little bit more or less of an underwriter, and I kind of became an underwriter. So here's the very first 2 novels, not the very first, but like 2 that I really tried to make novels. I had one before that, but we're not really going to count that one. I actually wrote the first draft of one. I don't know how long that was because I wrote it in a notebook. And so what I really want to do is just like write all the cringiness down and see how long it actually was, because it was like 2 3-subject notebooks long and a little bit more of a smaller notebook. And then I wrote another one and it was 3 notebooks long. Totally went off on rabbit trails in that book, and I even realized it while I was writing. So I was like, I gotta get this back on track. And then I ended at a spot. I ended at the end of a chapter on my 3rd notebook, and I was looking at it. I looked at it like over and over again since I stopped writing it there, and I was like, I have no more ideas. I cannot finish this, or like it's so bad I can't even go back to it. So that was what. After that, I would write, like, I would get so many story ideas. I would write like the first 2 chapters. I'd write the blurb. Sometimes I'd write a little bit more. I'd write a long summary of some of them, and that would be it. And so that was kind of how I became a bit more of an underwriter, I think. It was just because I kind of just wrote the idea down. And so then trying to get back into actually writing drafts was very difficult for me. And I was like, I guess once I got a laptop, which was about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago, I guess that's when I started trying to really draft novels. And so I was like, yeah, sorry, this is kind of mind-blowing to me. I haven't really thought about all this. I was like, I guess I haven't really tried to write another full draft of a book. Like, I've sort of, but I've just written the 2 chapters. I've just written ideas. So for years, I've just been writing ideas. And then 2 years ago, I actually started trying to draft again, which I didn't think that this was how it worked, but I guess at the same time, it sort of was. So I was working on a project. At first I was handwriting it, I think. And then I got a laptop, and so I started working on it there. And so this became like a novella and a book. And then I figured out that they didn't work. So I had to figure out how to do, or I figured out something different to do with the same ideas. So I didn't trash them, but they didn't work. I figured out something to do with them. I did another video on this. So now my writing process has been kind of different with this last project that I've been doing. I want to go over my writing process because I just think I'm sure people have done something similar to it before, but I also feel like people think that they can do it because, well, you'll see why. So with this book, I'm working on a paranormal fairy tale retelling. So like a YA paranormal romance horror adventure thingy. Yeah, and it's been kind of fun. At the same time, I don't like all of it, but it's more like I'm just writing the first draft. I've gotten to a point where I don't care. It's just the first draft. I'm writing everything down. I will get to it later. But I sort of plotted this out a little bit to an extent, so I will show you as much as I can. And this is how I did it. We're like 6 minutes in. Okay, so where's my... When I came up with this idea, I talked to my critique partner, which is my dad, about it, and I was coming up with ideas and fleshing things out, and when I was writing my 100,000 words in a month, I actually wrote the first draft of this idea, and it was like 35,000 words, and at first it felt like a real novel, and I was so excited, and then it got to a point where I just kind of ran out of ideas for it, and so then I was like a few days away from the end of the month, and I was like, so what am I working on now? And it was a little scary for me, not so much for the part where I didn't have enough or any more ideas for the book. I did actually come up with a few more ideas, and I think I want to, like, probably after I'm done with this draft, like, look back at that and see how much of it I actually want to incorporate into the second draft. Like, I might try to meld them together, because I did end up going in a slightly different direction, or just added more stuff to the, so that was more like I like to call it like my zero draft or my vomit draft, because I've heard that thing used before. And then my dad's like, no, it's a draft. It's just not a novel draft. So it was like more like getting the ideas down, which is still a draft. It's like a first draft. But now I'm trying again and actually trying to make it the length that I want it to be. So I have had so much trouble, like, I'm such an underwriter that I've had so much trouble trying to make a draft actually novel length. So what I did was I found a book that's similar enough to mine to where it's like I can kind of match this up a little to this book. So what I did was I took like my favorite ever book, which is Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and I went and I read through it. I've read through this book like so many times. I was able to just kind of like skim through it. So what I did was I picked out all of the scenes that were kind of in the book. Sorry, I'm opening up my laptop so I can show you what it is that I did. So in the very first, I'm not even gonna do it on the book. Oh, it's already up. Almost up here. So here we go. Let me see if I can find this. Then I'm going to show you. Hold on. It's loading. Okay, so this is my story idea development worksheet. Whenever I come up with an idea now, I try to make it go through the worksheet, and then I will figure it out. So this is all like the plotting stuff. And then here we have... Sorry, not here. It's right here. Okay, so I'll probably have to blot out some of this. We'll see how this works. So chapter 1, introduce MC doing what makes her most happy. The way Heartless starts, the way this book starts is Kath is doing what makes her happy, which is baking. And so mine is a little bit different. And then we introduce a messenger and a best friend, and a friend figure. We hint at the love interest, or this book hints at the love interest, then it introduces some kind of complication or form of conflict. It's a smaller conflict, and then there's also foreshadowing. So this was kind of like my guide. I was like, okay, so this is what I need to do in my first chapter. Then I continued to do this little outline thing, like every little small thing that happened throughout the entire book, including how many pages it was and how many words that would be based on 250 words per page. So I went through and I did that for the whole thing. And so this is normally I think people wouldn't like to do this because they're like, oh, it's plagiarism or something. It's you can't do it. Do it if you are an underwriter, because you get like a little roadmap of this is what needs to happen in every single chapter. And you know what is going to happen is you're going to deviate from the plan because it's your book, not theirs. So you're going to end up coming up with different ideas and different things. That's exactly what's happened to me. And yeah, it's been awesome. It is nothing like Heartless whatsoever, and this is the first draft. Like, it's going to change. But what has been really helpful is this kind of gives me a little bit of a roadmap for foreshadowing, for like I said, things that need to happen within the chapter. And so then I have changed it, and since I've gotten to the second act, I've changed it even more. Like, I've taken a look at it and I've started to write down different things that need to happen within the chapter for my story, because now it's not like Heartless anymore. And that has been really cool. So the other thing that has been very helpful for me is having a word count goal for each chapter. So I know some people have said that they don't like to stress over word counts, or they don't like to, which I think this was actually a different thing, but I don't like to stress over word counts or anything like that. It's been so helpful for me because it gives me like a roadmap. It gives me a goal. Once I hit this word count, I'm done with the chapter. And then I get to work on the next chapter and either continue the idea or just, yeah. So this has been what I've been doing, and yeah, it has been so helpful. So like, if you're an underwriter like me, use a novel that's similar to yours as a roadmap. You can see I have my little, what is it? This is where the first act ends, where the second act begins. It's not exactly the same in my book because I think she has them actually pretty evenly distributed, or maybe I just didn't understand or figure out exactly where they were. Mine is a little bit more like the first act is a quarter of the book, the second act is 2/4, half of the book, and then the third act is going to be like the last quarter. But yes, it's been life-changing. And yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do something exactly like this again, probably, because it's been so helpful. But yeah, like finding a book that's similar, and this isn't even like the most similar book that I could have used, but it was so helpful. Yes, this has been my new updated, revised writing process. It has helped me so much. I know it's not going to be helpful for everyone, but I would also consider trying it, especially if you are an underwriter like me, just so you have a roadmap of how to actually get more words. This is like a 120,000 word book. I've had difficulty writing 30,000 word drafts, and now I'm 30,000 words into this thing, and I'm not even halfway through the second act. I barely started the second act, and it's been so nice. So yes. Whoa. This has been helpful for me. I hope that if you try it out, well, you probably need to, and it's helpful for you. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.